Even as we try and piece together how exactly this plot was orchestrated, what went into the planning and the execution of it, opposition and the central government are trading barbs. The opposition says that our demand is only one. The Home Minister of this country must come on the floor of the House or the floor of the Parliament and address and allay our fears, give us an explanation. The government says there's absolutely no need because the Lok Sabha Speaker, who is the highest authority in this case, has already come out and given that statement. Now that's an argument the opposition is not convinced with. Listen in to some of those reactions.
और एक ही मांग है कि गृह मंत्री आए, सदन में आए और एक बयान दें। ये तानाशाही सरकार के लिए वो भी मंजूर नहीं है। हमने बार बार कोशिश की कि नेता प्रतिपक्ष राज्यसभा में उनको मौका दिया जाए कि ये मुद्दा उठाने के लिए, क्योंकि ये बहुत गंभीर मामला है। कल जो हुआ, जो सुरक्षा प्रावधानों का उल्लंघन हुआ, बहुत गंभीर मसला है और इस पर कार्रवाई तो हो रही है, पर हम गृह मंत्री की ओर से एक बयान चाहते हैं। कल भी हमने मांग की थी, आज भी हमने मांग की है और कल भी हम करते रहेंगे। जब तक गृह मंत्री नहीं आएंगे, बयान नहीं देंगे, सदन की चलने की संभावना बहुत कम है।
সাসপেনশনটা ওদের মুড়ি মুড়কির মতন হয়ে গেছে। আমি নিজে 3 বার সাসপেন্ড হয়েছি, আজকে ডিরেক্টরটা অফিসিয়াল হয়ে গেলে ও 3 বার হয়ে যাবে। তো আমাদের সাসপেনশনে হ্যাট্রিক হয়ে যাচ্ছে, ওদের কোনো যায় আসে না। বলছে ডিরেক্ট কেন, আরে বলছে ডিরেক্ট কেন ওয়েলে নেমে কথা বলছে। ওয়েলে নামা আমার রাইট, যদি বলেন সংসদের রাইট ওয়েলে আমি যেতে পারি, আমি টেবিলে যেতে পারি। আমার প্রশ্ন কখন উত্তর আসবে জানতে, কতক্ষণ ধরে এই আলোচনাটা হবে জানতে, আমি আমার দাবি জানাতে। যখন ট্রেজারি বেঞ্চ চুপ করে আছে, যখন স্বরাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী বয়ান দিচ্ছে না, তখন আমি স্লোগান দিতে নামতে পারি না ওয়েলে, তাতে আমাকে সাসপেন্ড করা হবে।
15 members of parliament in all have been suspended, 14 from the Lok Sabha, 1 from the Rajya Sabha, which is Derek O'Brien, all for unruly conduct. They say all we did was ask for an explanation from the Union Home Minister. That is only now escalating the political fight, the Congress upping the ante. A suspension is not going to change our demand. We want the Home Minister to come out and explain, is the only demand that the opposition has, a united one at that.
First of all, before the statement, of course, this Home Minister must come. He should have come earlier. He should have come immediately. He should have made a statement saying that we're very concerned, expressed sympathy, expressed concern that this has happened in a new building which should have taken care of all possibilities. How is it that in this particular building, the members of parliament and the public, the same entry gate is used? And how is it that you can easily jump from the visitors gallery onto the house? I mean, there should have been some precautions taken. This is a new building. It may be a 7-star culture, but you have to take care. Nothing really happened on December 13 in terms of threat to life. But somebody, if he had done something, anthrax or any other material had been used, you can imagine the havoc that would have been caused. So this is perhaps one of the most serious incidents that has taken place.
There's more breaking news that's now coming in, and it is coming in directly from the Prime Minister's office. We're given to understand via our sources within the PMO is that the Prime Minister has directed all of the BJP ministers, all of the BJP members of Parliament as well, to treat this issue with utmost sensitivity. It's not a you versus me issue. It's the message that the Prime Minister has sent out. Remember, earlier today, he also met with senior ministers of the government as we saw fireworks in both houses of Parliament, both in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Payal, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Payal, do tell us more about this message that the Prime Minister has now sent out to all the senior members of his cabinet.
Well, it's a very important message coming in. We've been just given to understand by way of top government sources that essentially the Prime Minister took a lowdown of entire issue. Since he was not present in the House yesterday, he was in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. But he's given clear-cut instructions to his ministers, essentially saying that this is not the time to say you versus me. This is not the time to play politics over the entire issue that the opposition parties are doing. This is a government which works on sensible issues in a sensitive manner. This is a very, very sensitive issue and it's very disturbing for everybody. So that's the reason the Prime Minister essentially has sent a message to his cabinet colleagues, especially the senior cabinet colleagues who are very active in Parliament, essentially saying that take this issue very, very seriously. Whatever changes need to be made, whatever support needs to be given on part of the government to ensure that the security of Parliament is kept at its highest level, it should be done. And we're also given to understand that Prime Minister could also be, speaking to the Speaker at some point in time to in fact understand from him and if at all the government can really support in whatever manner it can. But the securing of the Parliament is everybody's responsibility, including the government's responsibility, despite the fact that assurance has come in today on the floor of the House from the Lok Sabha Speaker that he is responsible for everybody's security. But the Prime Minister has given them directions, that the ministers have directions that it is a very sensitive issue and let's not get into the politics of it. Let's not play into the hands of the opposition the way the opposition is trying to politicize an issue concerning national security.
Right, that's the message coming in from the Prime Minister himself. The opposition pile, though, is insistent on Union Home Minister Amit Shah's statement on the floor of the House. So far, the government has ruled that out?
Well, the government has completely said that there is no question of the Home Minister giving the statement because the security of the Parliament does not come under the Home Minister. It's a prerogative of the Lok Sabha Speaker. The Lok Sabha Speaker is the custodian of the Parliament. The Parliament security reports to the Lok Sabha Speaker. That's the reason there is no need for him to make a statement given the fact that the Lok Sabha Speaker on multiple occasions, including in the all-party meeting yesterday on the floor of the House yesterday, even today made a very emphatic statement that I assure you that as the custodian of Parliament, it is my responsibility to ensure each one's security and I'm going to do that. And there is no need for any interference coming in from the government. The Speaker has said this on the floor of the House. I'm saying that there is no need for the government to interfere, concerning the security apparatus in the Parliament.
Right. Right, and that message is more than enough. We do not need the Home Minister to come out and allay any more fears. We in fact had Defence Minister Rajnath Singh as well earlier in the day on the floor of the House come out and said that this is a collective responsibility to ensure that this does not repeat. It is not a you versus me is the message that the Prime Minister has also sent out. Thank you so much for getting us the latest information on that. Pallavi, my colleague and senior editor, also joining us here on this broadcast, so getting us more perspective on this. Now, Pallavi, we have 15 members of Parliament in all, 14 in Lok Sabha, and Derek O'Brien from the Rajya Sabha suspended for the remainder of this session. We have 6 more days to go before this session ends. Are we expecting this to echo even as we see the government try and table some key bills?
Not just echo, because clearly these MPs and the political parties that they belong to are going to make this a big issue, that while that one man who gave that pass is still continuing as a member of Parliament, no action has been taken against him, which is Mr. Pratap Simha. Why is it that the opposition parties who are raising a valid point, they are being targeted? When tomorrow they reconvene, there's going to be a 10 a.m. morning meeting to decide the strategy. They are still going to go on with their campaign against the government, demanding that the Home Minister has to make a statement and also action needs to be taken against the Mysuru MP. There's going to be no letdown as far as protests are concerned. So what they are telling me is that we are ready to be suspended. If the government or the speaker or the chairperson wants to suspend all the MPs from the India Front Alliance, then so be it, because they are convinced that this is an issue which could actually resonate and put the pressure on the government.
Now, as far as the Parliament security and the measures that have been taken in the aftermath of yesterday is concerned, Pallavi, you've been in the Parliament yourself. You've seen what those changes are, the kind of security checks that were done today, both inside and outside. We have seen that some members who were on duty yesterday have also been suspended. But that's not enough is also something that the opposition is saying.
Yes, and the point is that the kind of arrangements that we are seeing inside today in terms of visitors visiting, not being given a pass, that is what the opposition leaders are saying is coming a little bit too late. This kind of an awareness, this kind of a scrutiny really should have been there much earlier. As far as the old Parliament building is concerned, the MPs are saying that we were aware of where do we escape. Here in the new building, not many of us are even aware where to go. We have not been briefed properly, and therefore in case it was a more serious situation, we don't know how we could have saved ourselves. Luckily, there were only 10 to 15 MPs. The Prime Minister was not present there. So therefore, the situation was not so chaotic. They feel that the first step which needs to be taken is you pull up the MP concern. Till you don't send out the message that an MP will face action on it, you don't send out a message also that every MP who issues a visitor's pass is actually held accountable, should be held accountable.
Right, Pallavi, do stay on with me because we've been talking about Pratap Simha, like you pointed out. So far, he's not come out and publicly made a statement, but the opposition is gunning for him. DMK now is joining the chorus of wanting Pratap Simha's expulsion from the Lok Sabha for having given that pass to these intruders yesterday. Kani Moi of the DMK coming out and demanding not just Pratap Simha's expulsion, but also going on to question why she and many others within the Lok Sabha have now been suspended.
No, there is an MP who has actually given the passes for these people to come in. No action has been taken against that MP, whereas we saw what happened in Malwa's case, where without even the inquiry being complete, she has been disqualified. And this MP is not even suspended, he is inside Parliament with us. And when we protest, and we want the Prime Minister and the Home Minister to come and give a statement in the House, they are not prepared to do that. And when we protest, they are suspending all the opposition MPs. First suspended 5, then they suspended 9 people. So how is this democracy?
Now, Pallavi, so far Pratap Simha has not come out and publicly said anything about what exactly transpired or given out his side of the story. But was he seen in Parliament today?
Well, we didn't see him in Parliament today. Yesterday, of course, he had met up with the Speaker moments after the incident had taken place, where he had briefed the Speaker about the fact that yes, he had given those passes, but this is something which his office was connected to. Very often what happens is that MPs directly do not get involved in the issuing of passes. Very often it's the members from their constituency, they come to wish to visit the Parliament. So whoever is their personal staff organizes these kind of passes, and a member of Parliament has to sign up the form. That's the kind of message which he conveyed to the Speaker, but I don't think this is something which is going to cut much ice with the opposition. They're clearly making it an issue that he has to be held accountable. If Mohua Moitro is going to be held accountable for those login details being given to Darshan Hiranandani, then there's no reason why the same rule is not applied in the case of the BJP MP.
Right, those war words only escalating with each passing minute. Pallavi, for the moment, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that. But let's listen into some of those reactions that have poured in from both inside and outside the Parliament.
What happened yesterday was a colossal security and intelligence failure. We want the government to come and take the and inform the House on what happened yesterday and what are the steps they are taking. The government is adamant in not coming. Either the Prime Minister or the Home Minister should actually make a statement, and the government is totally adamant in not making a statement. So we are demanding that. When MPs demand that, of course we protest. Just because we demanded and protest, in order to stifle our voice, about 15 odd MPs have been suspended for the remaining of the session. But there is a comedy of errors even in that. They have suspended Mr. S.R. Parthiban of the DMK, who is not even present in the House today. So this is just an ham-handed, random manner in which they have suspended people, which has no meaning at all, instead of addressing the bigger issue, which is the security and intelligence failure of yesterday. So this is very disappointing, and we are registering our protest in every possible manner we can.
Sir, we all agree that with a heavy heart that the unfortunate incident which occurred yesterday was a serious incident concerning the safety and the security of honorable members of Parliament. We have to appreciate that Honorable Speaker promptly held the meeting with all the floor leaders and listened to their suggestions for the further strengthening of the security in the Parliament premises. Some of these suggestions given have already been implemented. In the past also, many such incidents have been taken place. I am not comparing the past incidents and defending the today's incident, but we have to learn lesson from our past to bring the bright future.
India Alliance will meet tomorrow morning, and the leaders will decide what has to be taken. And we are united, and we are asking for a genuine demand, which is the Home Minister must come to the Parliament and answer make a statement first, then answer the queries of the opposition.
मैं समझता हूं कि भविष्य में हम सारे सांसद, चाहे वो पक्ष के हों अथवा प्रतिपक्ष के हों, सभी को सावधानी बरतने की आवश्यकता है ताकि जिनको भी हम पास देते हैं ऐसे व्यक्ति को पास न दिया जाए जो जाकर इस प्रकार की अराजक स्थिति संसद भवन के अंदर पैदा कर दे। यह हम सभी को, केवल सत्ता पक्ष ही नहीं बल्कि दूसरे पक्ष के लोगों को भी यह सावधानी बरतने की जरूरत है। और आपने तुरंत संज्ञान लेकर इस मामले का, अध्यक्ष महोदय, आपने जांच का आदेश दिया है और अन्य भी जो प्रिकॉशन भविष्य में लिए जा सकते हैं वह लिए जाएंगे। और अध्यक्ष महोदय, आपकी जानकारी में मैं यह भी लाना चाहता हूं कि यह हमारा ये पुराना संसद भवन है, उसमें भी इस प्रकार से बराबर जैसे नारेबाजी की घटनाएं और पेपर फेंकना और तरह तरह की जंपिंग की घटनाएं पिछले जो हमारा पहले का पार्लियामेंट है उसमें भी पहले हो चुकी हैं। मैं समझता हूं कि सभी को मिलकर इस घटना को कंडेम करना चाहिए।
तो काफी सिक्योरिटी टाइट लग रहा है, अंदर जाते हुए काफी फ्रिस्किंग भी अच्छा हो रहा है।
बिल्कुल, आज मैं अभी पहुंचा हूं और सिक्योरिटी काफी टाइट है जी। और ये पहले भी ऐसा होना चाहिए और इसके साथ साथ जो लोग आना चाहते हैं उनके लिए भी एक तरीकाकार बनाना चाहिए। ठीक है, बिल्कुल, देखो एक ही रास्ते से आप सब लोग नहीं जा सकते, अलग अलग होना चाहिए। और क्योंकि जैसे अब किसी सांसद को चोट लगेगी तो बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा बनेगा, जैसे पार्लियामेंट के अंदर है बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है, वही क्रैकर कहीं शादी में चल रहा हो तो किसी के ध्यान में नहीं होता, वो क्रैकर कहीं उधर हो तो कोई ध्यान में नहीं होता। तो ये बातें को ध्यान से रखते हुए प्रोटोकॉल तो होना चाहिए सिक्योरिटी का, किसने कहाँ तक जाना है, किसे आना है जी। जैसे अब मीडिया भी है, मीडिया दूर है, मीडिया को पास कैसे जगह देनी है, इसके लिए भी हम स्पीकर साहब को बोलेंगे।
मीडिया में पहले गरुड़ द्वार जो आप पीछे दिख रहा है हमारे, यहाँ पे हम खड़े होते, मकर द्वार के बिल्कुल पास खड़े होते थे।
नहीं, बिल्कुल, देखिए पता कि वो देखिए वो रश हो जाता है। हम कहते हैं कि उसके पास ही कहीं जगह देना प्रॉपर बना के, शेल्टर हो चाहे टेम्परेरी हो, कोई कहीं आदमी बैठ जाए, बेंच लगे हो, वो हम स्पीकर साहब को रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि वो होना चाहिए।
और साहब यही सिक्योरिटी अगर पहले रही होती तो शायद ये इंसिडेंट ना होता।
ये नहीं होता, हमारी ये दिक्कत है, हम इंसिडेंट के बाद जागते हैं, क्योंकि जब ये रास्ता हम पहले भी चर्चा कर रहे थे, जैसे आप भी लोग खड़े होंगे, कौन लोग आ रहा है, कौन जा रहा है, किसी को पता थोड़ा ना जी।
दर्शक दीर्घा है वो इतनी नीची है कि आदमी अगर लटक के हाथ मिलाना चाहे तो हाथ मिला ले।
दर्शक दीर्घा की हाइट बहुत कम है,
बहुत कम है। तो हमारा ये प्रपोजल है कि दर्शक दीर्घा में बुलेट प्रूफ शीशा लगे पूरी में, ताकि ना कोई नीचे आए ना कोई बुलेट चला सके। क्या मालूम कल क्या हो। हम ये भी मानते हैं कि पार्लियामेंट एरिया को नो फ्लाई जोन डिक्लेयर करा जाए, ये हमारी डिमांड है। आजकल डिफरेंट तरीके से लोग अटैक करते हैं, कोई रॉकेट से करता है, कोई ड्रोन से करता है, इसका भी ख्याल रखा जाए कि यहाँ पे एंटी मिसाइल सिस्टम भी लगे और नो फ्लाई जोन पार्लियामेंट एरिया को डिक्लेयर कराया जाए।
तो कल की जो आप कह रहे हैं, जो एक बड़ी बात कह रहे हैं कि कल की जो पॉइजनस गैस थी, जो भी गैस थी, उसकी जांच पहले होनी चाहिए थी, पार्लियामेंट सीधा शुरू नहीं होना चाहिए।
नहीं होना चाहिए था, पहले उसकी फॉरेंसिक जांच होनी चाहिए थी।
जी जी, वो क्यों नहीं हुई? आपको लगता है कि लाइटली लिया गया, क्या कारण?
ये दिखाना था ना कि कोई खास बात नहीं है, लोग पैनिकी ना हो, देश में खराब संदेश ना जाए, ये दिखाना था।
चलिए, अब तो सिक्योरिटी बढ़ गया है आज से, आज तो सब जूता वूता सब खुलवा दिया है, जर्नलिस्ट से भी पूछा गया है कि पास बार दिखाइए।
भाई मैं कह रहा हूँ नहीं, सांप निकल गया, लकीर पीट रहे हैं। अब फिर 2-4-6 महीने बाद फिर कोई ऐसा वाकया हो गया, कोई ड्रोन आ गया, कोई मिसाइल आ गया। आज के दौर में क्या नहीं हो सकता, सबका ध्यान रखना चाहिए।
Problem the MPs have is the feeling that the government is not taking this seriously enough. Why wasn't the Home Minister in the House? Why was he not accountable? Why is the government not feeling it is accountable to the people? These are the questions that were in the minds of the MPs. It goes well beyond a security officer there. It goes to the concept of security in the Parliament. It goes to the arrangements for access. It goes to the way in which the building was conceived, designed and built. So the government is accountable because they're the ones behind this entire change. And we must therefore hear from the government at the highest responsible level. We want the Home Minister to come and speak to Parliament.
Our parties hold different names. Congress, TMC, DMK, CPI, CPM. Names are varying. But we stand united as one bloc called India. We have only one slogan: defend democracy, uphold the honor of the parliaments. The BJP has no regard for the parliaments. They made the parliament a place of mockery. They brought the culprits to the house with their MPs' consents. And they played the miscreants here. And that BJP, that RSS, we know that they are always against democracy and the parliaments. They don't follow the Indian ethos of democracy and parliaments.
संसद एक ऐसी इमारत नहीं है, ये बिल्डिंग नहीं है, लोकतंत्र की सबसे बड़ी पंचायत है। अब पूरे देश को पता चला होगा कि चाइना में, लद्दाख में चाइना कैसा घुस गया। अब देश को पता चला होगा मणिपुर में म्यांमार के टेररिस्ट कैसे घुस गए, अरुणाचल में चीन कैसे घुस गया, जम्मू कश्मीर में पाकिस्तान से टेररिस्ट कैसे घुस जाते हैं। अब इस देश को पता होगा कि कितनी बहुत ही कमजोर हमारी सुरक्षा व्यवस्था है। हम बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हैं और कुछ नहीं।
The fallout of the intrusion in the Lok Sabha yesterday is not only continuing today, it will only escalate with each passing day now that 15 members of parliament combined both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have been suspended for the remainder of this session. We'll keep a track of that and much more here on Nation at 5. For now, it's time for a quick break.
From the intruders, and in fact it had the name of BJP MP Pratap Simha. So the pass was issued by Pratap Simha's office. So this is the visitor pass that was recovered from one of the intruder whose name is Manoranjan. This was the pass that was recovered from him. And now we're being joined by CNN News 18's Anshul Singh, who's joining us from Jind in Haryana, and he is live with us from Neelam's house, who was also one of the protesters who was protesting outside the parliament. Anshul, what do the family members have to say about it?
So yes, the family members have constantly been saying, we have spoken to them last night as well and this morning as well, and the family members continue to say that they had actually no idea that something like this was being planned by Neelam. In fact, Neelam came over here at this house right outside which I am standing at this point in time just day before yesterday to fill some forms for the exam, and that point in time the family also had no idea absolutely that something like this could happen. However, the family says that yes, Neelam along with the entire village was the part of the farmers' protest that happened on the borders of the national capital. Now the family is in the next few minutes is expected to leave for the national capital. I'll just try and speak to her brother. भैया एक बात ये बताइए, अभी आप लोग दिल्ली जा रहे हैं, कौन कौन लोग दिल्ली जाएंगे और किन लोगों का समर्थन आपको मिलेगा?
पहले किसानों से मिलेंगे, किसानों के जो आए थे कल आजाद जी पहलवान, उनसे मिलेंगे, देखते हैं वो कैसा बंदोबस्त करते हैं, कौन कौन साथ में जाएगा उन्हीं को पता है। फिलहाल मेरे घर से तो मैं ही हूँ,
क्योंकि यूएपीए लगा दिया है, काफ़ी सीरियस चार्ज लगा दिया है अब दिल्ली पुलिस ने, इसमें मुश्किलें काफ़ी बढ़ सकती हैं आगे।
देखते हैं, वो तो मुश्किल तो ये कल से देख रहे हैं हम, बढ़ी हुई है हमारे तो, क्योंकि कल से खान पान है तो है, सब कुछ बंद ही है। सुबह 6 बजे से लेके आ गए थे मीडिया वाले, अगर हम गेट नहीं खोलेंगे तो ये बोलेंगे कि मीडिया वाले को भी ये जवाब नहीं दे रहे, तो हम इस मामले में चोर साबित नहीं होना चाहते।
घर में कैसा माहौल है? काफ़ी
घर में ठीक है, नहीं कोई तनाव वाली बात नहीं है, ऐसी तो कोई बात नहीं है। तनाव कोई गलत काम किया है तो उसकी सज़ा उसको ज़रूर मिलेगी, लेकिन देखते हैं उससे मिलने देंगे या नहीं देंगे, वो तो बाकी बात है, तो उसको मिलने के पता ही चलेगा कि बाद में कि उसने क्यों कदम उठाया है, किस लिए उठाया है। मैं तो सिर्फ एक ही बात कहना चाहता हूँ कि उसको भी अपना जो बात है, जो उसके विचार हैं, उनको रखने की ज़रूरत है, उनको भी उनका विचार रखने देना चाहिए।
नहीं तो ये तरीका जो चुना गया, इख्तियार किया गया पार्लियामेंट में घुसने का, काफ़ी ज़्यादा ड्रास्टिक या काफ़ी बड़ा कदम नहीं था?
हाँ, ये बड़ा कदम तो था, इसको सभी इसकी सराहनीय तो कोई नहीं कर रहा है। प्रोटेस्ट करना था, बाद में कर लेते। इसका आपको पता है कि 13 दिसंबर को पहले भी हुआ था ये घटना, तो उसको जोड़ने के लिए पूरी मीडिया ये कर रही है कि इसको इससे जोड़ें, लेकिन जब उसका लिंक ही नहीं है उसके साथ, कोई पन्नू के साथ जोड़ रहा है। मैं तो नाम ही पहली बार सुना, ये पन्नू है कौन? कल देखा है मीडिया में कि ये पन्नू है, ये बोल रहे हैं कि इसका बैंक अकाउंट चेक करो। अकाउंट चेक कर लो, आप सभी परिवार के चेक कर लो, उसका के लिए क्यों करो? सभी परिवार का चेक करो, अकाउंट देख लो हमारा क्या इनकम है, क्या है, क्या सोर्सेज हैं हमारे इनकम के, तभी पता चलेगा ना।
तो अभी दिल्ली निकल रहे हैं, कितने लोग जाएंगे दिल्ली इसका?
फिलहाल यहाँ से तो मैं अकेला हूँ, उचाना जाऊँगा, पहले किसानों से मिलूँगा, उनको पूछूँगा कि कौन कौन मेरे साथ जाएगा या नहीं जाएगा। वो डिपेंड करता है उन पर, जाएंगे नहीं जाएंगे। लेकिन जाना पड़ेगा, मेरी सिस्टर है, मैं उसकी सपोर्ट में खड़ा हूँ और खड़ा रहूँगा, हमेशा खड़ा रहूँगा, चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए।
So as you heard there, that the family also had no idea that something like this was in the plans, and also the family members will now be leaving from here, their village, and they will be going to the national capital and will try to meet their sister Neelam. Now there are serious charges that have been pressed against her by the Delhi police, including the likes of UAPA. Now, as you know, that UAPA is one of the most strictest of the acts that have been made by the national government, and getting out or getting any sort of relief when the UAPA is slapped against anyone is going to be a very, very big task. Now, 4 people have been slapped with the UAPA, whereas Vicky alias Vishal has been slapped with 120B, that is being involved in creating this entire criminal conspiracy or being involved in the planning of this entire crime. Because remember, the meeting that happened between all of them actually happened at the residence of Vicky alias Vishal in Gurugram, and also the one person who is still absconding is Lalit Jha. Now, Lalit Jha is being said to be the head of this entire meeting that happened. He was the person who actually planned this entire thing, and he was the person who initially posted the first video of this entire incident on his social media account as well. Now, Lalit Jha is still absconding from the grasp of the Delhi police. It remains to be seen when will Lalit Jha get in control of the Delhi police, because yes, it is being said that he was the person who had actually plotted this entire plan. He was the person who brought all of these people in touch. These people got in touch, what sources have confirmed to CNN News 18 at this point in time. They got in touch through social media, specifically through Facebook. They got in touch, and the plan was actually being hatched to carry out this protest since the month of January itself. Now, Manoranjan, remember the person on whose name the visitor pass was issued, he was the person who actually conducted a recce in the winter session, in the monsoon session, right after the parliament shifted into the new building. And when that recce happened, he realized that as visitors enter the parliament building or inside the Lok Sabha, the booths are not checked, and hence this decision was taken by him that they could hide these canisters in their booths. But thankfully there was no hazardous smoke in that booth, because remember, that could have been a big security breach. Although this breach that has happened needs to be investigated from all the angles, not only the people and the conspirators who were involved, but also how there was such a laxity in probably the most safest place of the country, that is the parliament. How were people allowed to actually go inside without being frisked properly? Because remember, according to the SOPs that are being followed by the parliament staff, by the parliament security, not even a sheet of paper is allowed to be taken inside the parliament by the visitors at this point in time. So yes, it remains to be seen what more will come out in the investigation. But yes, the prima facie, the investigation that has happened till now, it has come out that this entire conspiracy was being planned from the month of January. All these 4 people are educated youths, has what has come out, and none of these people had any jobs whatsoever, and that was prima facie the main reason that they decided to carry out such a big and impactful protest.
All right, Anshul, please stay with us. We have Arunima also with us. Arunima, coming back to you. So what is also pertinent to note is that the security breach happened on the 22nd anniversary of the parliament attack, and also it follows after Pannun had issued a threat that there will be attack on the parliament.
See, if you go by the preliminary interrogation of all the suspects, December 13 seems to be coincidental. They initially wanted to carry out this intrusion a day later, which is 14th of
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde. We spoke about the politics of the parliament attack that took place yesterday, of the intrusion that took place in the Lok Sabha yesterday. But where exactly is the investigation as of today? There are 7 accused in all. 6 of them are now in custody, including the 2 people at whose home in Gurugram in the National Capital Region, where meetings took place between the other accused. There is one accused, Lalit Jha, who is still in the wind. There is a multi-agency probe now that is currently underway. The Delhi Police Special Cell is also investigating this particular case, trying to piece together what exactly went behind the execution of this particular intrusion yesterday. How did they manage to get those passes? How did they get in undetected, breaching those multiple layers of security? All of that is now under investigation. Let's take a look at how exactly they plotted and planned this entire transgression yesterday in the Lok Sabha that we saw. They all belong to different parts of the country. They met via Facebook about a year and a half ago. These were the 5 accused, all of whom are now in custody. One of them, Lalit Jha, of course, is absconding. They met in Mysuru, where Manoranjan is from. He's one of the accused, believed to be the mastermind of what we saw yesterday. Manoranjan, Neelam, Anmol and Lalit Jha met 1.5 years ago. They met they met on Facebook first, and then they decided to meet in Mysuru. Cut across to the national capital then. Sagar, one of the accused, he visited the parliament during the budget session this year, earlier this year, in January or February. He came here to the national capital to conduct a recce of what the parliament premises look like. Anmol bought a smoke bomb in Latur. He comes from Latur in Maharashtra. That was collected by Sagar from Kurla, in another part on the outskirts of Mumbai in Maharashtra itself. That is where they plotted to bring in the smoke bomb that was used yesterday inside the parliament. Now, Sagar is somebody who belongs to Lucknow. He came via Gomti Express to the national capital here earlier this month, a couple of days before they were to execute this particular intrusion inside the Lok Sabha. We had several others come in from different parts of the country to the national capital before they executed and implemented that intrusion yesterday. Anmol arrived from Latur, where he resided in Maharashtra, to the national capital. We then had Neelam come in from Hisar in Haryana to Delhi. They all met on the 10th of December for the first time in the run-up to what happened yesterday. They met at accused Vicky's home. This is the accused whose home is in Gurugram, where the meeting took place on the 10th of December. Vicky and his wife Vrinda are also now accused in this particular case and have been detained and being questioned over the last 24 hours as well. We then had the accused Neelam, Manoranjan, Lalit, Anmol, Sagar as well reach India Gate yesterday early in the morning. Sometime between 9 to 10 a.m. is when they met at India Gate in the national capital. For about half an hour, they decided exactly what was going to go through for the next 2 to 3 hours. We then saw that passes were collected by Sagar for the entry into the visitors gallery in Lok Sabha. He collected those parliaments. All of them then head to the parliament. Some were outside and some were inside. Sagar and Manoranjan were the 2 people who went inside the parliament, inside the Lok Sabha, and were in the visitors gallery before they jumped on and used the smoke bombs that they had with them. All of this is how they managed to go undetected, how it was a well-plotted, orchestrated intrusion that we saw in the Lok Sabha yesterday. There is one link that is still missing. Anshul, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details of this investigation. Anshul, that one crucial link that is still missing is Lalit Jha. He still is absconding. Do the police, does the investigating team have any leads about him?
Oh, so yes, there are a few manual leads that the special cell has been able to get regarding Lalit Jha. Initially, the last known location of Lalit Jha was actually found somewhere in Rajasthan, and the team of special cell, a small team of special cell, has been sent over there as well, just to figure out if he is at all present over there as well. Now, Lalit Jha is a very, very crucial link in this entire investigation that is being carried out, because it was Lalit Jha who made sure that Vicky alias Vishal, who was arrested from Gurugram, in fact the house at which this meeting had happened, actually Lalit was that link between Vishal and all these 4 accused to make sure that that meeting happens at his house. Post that, if you see that Lalit was also the person who instigated them to go ahead with the protest and promised them that he would be behind making the video and making sure that video goes viral. That is something he did. And as soon as the police reached over there, and as soon as the police started arresting these people from right outside the parliament, be it Neelam or the other accused, Lalit suddenly fled from the spot. He took all the phones of all the 4 accused along with him, and the police suspects that he took these phones to destroy them, so that whatever evidence these people, whatever evidence the police could gather from the mobile phones, that could be destroyed. Not only this, in the investigation, it has also come out that after getting in touch on Facebook, all these people had a secret group on Signal app as well. Now remember, Signal app is an app that is almost impossible for any agency to decrypt, and hence it is used by hence it is used by people to talk about much secret things that actually cannot be decrypted by the government. So there was a group that was made on the Signal app, and hence Lalit made sure that all these proofs that they have left behind, all the trails that they have left behind, is cleared at the earliest. So the last known location of Lalit is in Rajasthan. A small team of Delhi police is on the way to Rajasthan to figure out if at all he is present over there. In fact, his paternal home is also somewhere in Rajasthan as well, is what we have been told. His few relatives lives in Rajasthan is what we have been told at this point in time. But yes, if I tell you about the current situation, currently I am stationed outside the Patiala House Court, where within the next few minutes we are expecting that all these 4 accused will be brought over here by the Delhi Police Special Cell, and then the hearing will go on about their police custody, which is going to be asked by the Delhi Police. At this point in time, it's getting late because the Delhi Police has informed the court that it is taking some more time for them to conduct their medicals. These medicals are required before they are presented before the judge, and that medical process is just in its last leg, is what we have been told. So any time now, within the next few minutes, we are expecting that they will be brought out here to the Patiala House Court, where the Delhi Police is going to ask for further custody for this investigation.
Whether or not the custody is granted to the Delhi Police Special Cell who's investigating this case, we'll have to wait and watch. But do stay on with us. Arunima, my colleague, also joining us, getting us more perspective on this. Now, Arunima, we have a multi-agency probe that is currently underway. Just yesterday, we had the Home Ministry quickly jump into this entire case, order a high-level probe. The DG CRPF himself is going to be heading the panel.
Yes, the Ministry of Home Affairs is the nodal ministry for all security-related aspects in this country. And even though Parliament security is handled by a separate wing of Parliament security staff and Lok Sabha Secretariat, and the Lok Sabha Speaker is the head of it, the fact remains that Home Minister and the agencies are best suited to probe what really happened. So on a request from the Lok Sabha Secretariat, the Ministry ordered DG CRPF, Anish Dayal Singh, to take over this committee, and all members, all other agencies, the Delhi Police, Parliamentary Security, Intelligence Agency, they will all be part of this committee. The mandate of the committee is to find out what went wrong. One thing is very obvious, that the security protocol did not include checking of shoes. That protocol, that missing chink in the armor was exploited by this group. So what more can be done? There are already a lot of suggestions that are being implemented. Visitors have been stopped from coming into Parliament. The visitor gallery will be glass cased. Body scanners are being brought in. There are restrictions as far as gates are concerned for staff members, media and outsiders. So all of this have already been put in. But the pressure is definitely on the government. We saw what happened inside the Parliament today. The opposition is unrelenting. Even after suspension of MPs, it is wanting the Home Minister and the Prime Minister to take the lower and the upper house into confidence about what happened and what is the situation as far as currently.
Right, Arunima and Anshul, do stay on with us. We'll keep coming back to you for more leads as far as the status of the investigation goes. But CNN News 18 has been tracking down the family members of all of the accused. What really was going on in their minds? Was this building up? And what exactly happened in the last 11 months that they met up and decided that this was the way that they were going to garner attention? We spoke to the family members there. We tried to track down Lalit Jha, who's absconding, and spoke to his family as well. Listen in to those reactions.
No one had any idea that something like this was on the charts or something like this was being actually planned by Neelam. But one thing is for sure, and what the family has also confirmed, that she was a very prominent part of the farmers' protest that broke out. And that is the reason why at this point in time, at the exact location at which I am standing, a panchayat has been called by the local farmers over here, and there they would decide if at all they are going to go ahead and support Neelam in this endeavour that she had picked up to go ahead and protest right outside the Parliament. I'll just speak to the farmers who have gathered over here. सर, कल आपने देखा किस तरह से पार्लियामेंट के भीतर प्रोटेस्टर्स घुसे, पार्लियामेंट के बाहर से नीलम को गिरफ्तार किया गया. कैसे देखते हैं इस पूरे प्रोटेस्ट को, और क्या प्रोटेस्ट करने का ये एक सही तरीका मानते हैं आप कि पार्लियामेंट के अंदर जाके इतना बड़ा सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच हुआ है?
देखिए, मामला बड़ा गंभीर है, लेकिन जो बेटी नीलम की हमने आवाज़ सुनी है कि बेरोजगारी के त्रस्त होके ने, और जो देश के अंदर तानाशाही चल रही है, जो किसान मजदूर की आवाज़ को नहीं सुना जा रहा, तो वो कह रही है कि आवाज़ को सुनना चाहिए, बेरोजगारी को ख़त्म करना चाहिए, तानाशाही को बंद करना चाहिए. इसके खिलाफ आवाज़ उठाना कोई गलत हम नहीं मानते. तो हम उसकी बेटी की आवाज़ का समर्थन करते हुए हम सरकार से मांग भी करते हैं कि उस बेटी नीलम को रिहा किया जाए. लेकिन आज हमने मीटिंग बुलाई है, हमारी संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा जो ऊंचाना है, यहाँ की लोकल मीटिंग हमने बुलाई है. उसमें हम विचार विमर्श करके आगामी जो हमारी कार्रवाई होगी, जो रूपरेखा होगी, सभी का विचार लेके उसी के अनुरूप कार्य करने का काम करेंगे।
हमारे बच्चों को फंसाया गया है। वो हमारा बेटा ऐसा नहीं है, वो तो रिक्शा चलाता था। एक ही बेटा है मेरा, वो मेरा सहारा है, वही मेरा सहारा है। वो मेरा बच्चा निर्दोष है बिल्कुल। मेरा एक ही बेटा, वो रिक्शा चलाता था और कोई कुछ नहीं, बस वो देशभक्त के बारे में बात करता था, बस इसी बारे में हमको। वो बहुत अच्छा लड़का था।
वो हमारे ख्याल से उसको फंसाया जा रहा नहीं, इस चक्कर में कुछ नहीं था। बैंगलोर किसका दोस्त है, तो ये कह रहे हैं कि ये अब जैसा उसने करा है, अब जो इतनी बेइज्जती हमारी हुई, इज्जत खराब हुई, जो नहीं होना चाहिए, हम नहीं चाहते थे ऐसा हो। बेटे ने जो करा उसको, जो जैसा उसने करा उसे भुगते। वो जांच हो, जो जिसने गलत किया उसको पकड़ा जाए। हमारे घर वालों को न परेशान किया जाए। वाइफ का 2 ऑपरेशन हो रखा है, वैसे भी टेंशन में है। हम चाहते हैं बिल्कुल परेशान न किया जाए।
भैया बहुत शुक्रिया बात करने के लिए हमसे। पहले ये बताइए नीलम जी, कब से यहाँ आई थी, आखिरी बार कब यहाँ आई थी और आखिरी क्या इन्फॉर्मेशन थी आपके पास?
ये परसों आई थी, हमारे पास मिलने के लिए आई थी। और उसका एक वो था क्या, वो फार्म भरने के लिए आई थी। उसका फार्म में कुछ गड़बड़ हो गई थी, तो वो भरा नहीं जा रहा था, तो उसको लेके आई थी वो, कि फार्म भरने के लिए बुलाया। फोर्थ वाला भाई ने दोबारा बुलाया मेरे को, तो वहाँ से फार्म भरवा के वो सीधा हिसार चली गई थी, क्योंकि उसको 6-7 महीने हो गए हमने हिसार ही छोड़ कर स्टडी करने के लिए, पेपरों की तैयारी कर रही है वो। तो अब या वो आई थी 2-3 तारीख को पेपर था उसका, एक जो स्टेट था उसका, जो वो हो गया था, एक्सपायर हो गया था स्टेट, 5-6 साल हो गए थे उसको, फर्स्ट टाइम में ही क्लियर कर दिया था उसने। तो वो कहीं यूज में आया नहीं, उसका वैकेंसी निकली नहीं, तो वो एक्सपायर हो गया। तो अब उसका दोबारा पेपर दिया उसने, 2 तारीख का था, पता नहीं 3 तारीख का था। हमें तो आज 2:30-3 बजे न्यूज़ से पता चला है कि वो ऐसे ऐसे दिल्ली पहुंच रही है, हमें तो पता ही नहीं था।
अच्छा, ये कुछ लोग ऐसी बातें भी कर रहे हैं, ट्विटर पे वीडियोस भी चल रहे हैं ऐसे कि किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के साथ भी कोई एफिलिएशन था, या पहले भी किसी धरने में या प्रदर्शन में पार्टिसिपेट किया, हिस्सा लिया है। इसमें कुछ सच्चाई है?
सिर्फ किसान आंदोलन में उसका हस्तक्षेप रहा है। किसान आंदोलन में हम भी जाते थे, सभी जाते थे, मेरे गांव के लोग भी जाते थे, लेकिन और कोई पार्टी, किसी भी पॉलिटिक्स, किसी कोई तरह कोई भी वो नहीं है। ये सिर्फ कहने की बातें हैं।
पॉलिटिकली उतनी एक्टिव
नहीं, सिर्फ किसान आंदोलन में ही गए थे, वो तो सभी गाँव के जाते थे हम।
आज से कई साल पहले 2001 में भी आज ही के दिन संसद भवन पर हमला हुआ था, और उस लिहाज से भी अगर देखा जाए तो आज उसकी बरसी थी, और आज ही के दिन एक बार फिर से संसद भवन की सुरक्षा में एक बड़ी चूक हुई, और इस चूक की जो पटकथा है वो गुरुग्राम के इसी मकान में लिखी गई थी। दिल्ली पुलिस के सूत्रों की अगर माने तो गुरुग्राम के 7 एक्सटेंशन के इस मकान में जो विक्की नाम का जो एक व्यक्ति था वो यहाँ रहता था अपने परिवार के साथ, और आरोप है कि इसी के घर पर वो सभी जो हमलावर है, एक तरह से जिन लोगों ने प्रोटेस्ट किया संसद भवन के अंदर और बाहर, वो सभी लोग इसी मकान के अंदर रुके थे और यहीं से वो दिल्ली गए थे। तो आरोप यही है कि वो सब लोग यहाँ पर विक्की जो एक युवक है उसके घर पर रुके थे। कई सालों से वो गुरुग्राम के इसी मकान में रहता था, और जब इन लोगों को दिल्ली पुलिस ने गिरफ्तार किया तो उसके बाद जो पूछताछ हुई, उसी पूछताछ के बाद दिल्ली पुलिस ने इस घर के अंदर रहने वाले विक्की और उसकी पत्नी दोनों को ही हिरासत में दिल्ली पुलिस ने ले लिया है। उनको यहाँ से लेकर के जा चुकी है। फिलहाल गुरुग्राम पुलिस की जो क्राइम ब्रांच है वो अंदर मौजूद है, और इस घर के अंदर फिलहाल बताया जा रहा है कि विक्की की जो बेटी है वही अकेली मौजूद है, जिससे कि अब गुरुग्राम पुलिस के अधिकारी बातचीत कर रहे हैं। क्राइम ब्रांच के लोग यहाँ पहुंचे हुए हैं।
How do you know Lalit Jha, and where did you both first met?
We met at an event in Central Avenue in Kolkata. In Indian Association Hall, we met at that meeting. He came as a volunteer, means he was serving there as a volunteer. So he introduced himself as a social worker, and hence means I saw a prospective member in him. So I approached him to join my organization, and we met from there.
Okay, and so had Lalit Jha called you after security breach? He messaged you, like?
He didn't call me or anything, but he just after it, he sent me a video of the protest going outside, on the street, and it was sent on my WhatsApp. But I was in college. I am a college student. I was in college. After I came out from college, I saw the video and asked him where it is of. As I didn't know anything of it, I got to know of it after I reached home, after I saw in the news channels.
So what type of videos did he send you on WhatsApp, and what type of messages did he send you? Was he there on the spot, like when the protest was happening outside Parliament? Was he there outside Parliament? Do you know about this?
I am not quite sure that whether he was there or not, but he sent me a video of the protest outside the Parliament, the two people getting arrested and all. That was the video's main subject.
Okay.
In the street, the protest going on in the street.
And like, what type of person he is? What type of person Lalit Jha is?
I haven't met him quite a lot of times. I have met him a couple or 3 times, most probably. So, he never gave any of his background or anything, that where he came from, who are in his family, what his income sources, or how he earns his living, anything such.
Okay. And do you know if Lalit Jha had any political links?
No, he never introduced any such.
Okay. And Lalit Jha, like, was there any hint from him given to you that such type of incident is being planned? Anything in your, past talks or anything related to this?
No, he never mentioned any such any such thing he is planning or anything he is going to execute or anything. He never said any of such thing. He never said any of this, like I am going here, I am going to do this. Whenever I have met him or I have spoken with him, I knew he is in West Bengal or precisely in Kolkata only.
And do you also know the other members who were involved in this security breach of Parliament?
No, I haven't. I don't know their names as well. I just saw them yesterday in news.
Okay. And are you also contacted by any investigation agency after this incident?
Not till now. I haven't been contacted with any of the investigation agencies. Not until now.
But that is time for a quick break here on this edition. But there's lots lined up for you on Nation at 5. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Breaking news now, there seems to be a security breach in the Lok Sabha where a person has jumped from the visitors gallery. The police has maintained that there are 2 sets of people who are involved in this case.
This is in itself just showing you the gravity of the kind of security breach that has taken place.
It was throwing out huge fumes. We were terrified that it could be some poisonous gas.
No papers allowed, leave alone a bottle of water or even a mobile phone. So this is huge.
If you can smuggle in a chemical spray inside Lok Sabha Visitors Gallery, that is of massive concern because it could be a biological weapon, it could have been a radioactive weapon.
Brought to you by.
Luck would have it, Pratap Simha's staff made some kind of a entry mistake and the date on their visitors pass came up to 13 December. When that mistake happened, their plan got recalibrated. It was decided that instead of the entire group going inside Lok Sabha chambers, they would split into 2. Amol and Neelam would stay outside and use the smoke bombs to make the point, whereas the 2, Manoranjan and Saurabh, would go inside the Lok Sabha chambers and jump down from the visitors gallery. So December 13th, when the country was paying homage to the martyrs of Parliament attack, when the Prime Minister, the Speaker, the Vice President were leading all the members of Parliament to pay homage, this point was being made that, on a day like this, to have another intrusion in Parliament just makes it worse. But investigators later showed that this was just coincidental. Not that that makes the crime any grave or the issue any less serious, but any terror link vis-a-vis any Islamic group like it happened in 2001 or any Khalistani group, since there was a threat from Khalistani separatists, that has been ruled out for now.
These are the latest details that are coming in as far as the Parliament security breach is concerned. Our reporters are on the ground getting us all the latest updates as far as the probe is concerned. But we'll quickly walk you through more details on what exactly happened in the Parliament yesterday. Remember, there was a security breach. Now, let's take you through the sequence of events that happened yesterday since 1 p.m. And CNN News 18 was the first to show you these visuals yesterday at 1 p.m. on how the first intruder, as you can see, jumped from the visitors gallery to the well, and he was jumping desks, as you can see in these visuals, and the MPs were trying to get hold of him. So these are the visuals that came yesterday. And after the two intruders created chaos in the Lok Sabha, the MPs caught hold of them and thrashed them as hard as they could, and they thrashed the intruder who was jumping from desk to desk. And after that, color bomb was also blown outside the Parliament. So inside the Parliament also there were two intruders that used the color bombs. But if we talk about outside the Parliament, the situation was the same. There were other two protesters who were protesting, and they also were using color bombs. So these are the visuals from inside the Parliament yesterday when the MPs thrashed the two intruders. They caught hold of one of the intruders, in fact both the intruders, and they thrashed him inside the Lok Sabha. These are the visuals, as you can see in the visuals, the MPs who were present in the Lok Sabha yesterday thrashing the intruders who jumped from the visitors gallery into the Lok Sabha. So, and these were the visuals that came from outside the Parliament, where there were other two protesters who were protesting outside the Parliament, and they also used the color bombs, which were also used inside the Parliament. And in fact, what we are learning that they concealed the smoke bombs inside their shoes. So this is the visual. This is how they concealed the bomb inside their shoe, and that is how they were able to take it inside the Parliament premises. In fact, after all of this occurred in the Parliament, what we also learned that visitor pass was recovered from the intruders. This was the visitor pass that was recovered from the intruders, and in fact it had the name of BJP MP Pratap Simha. So the pass was issued by Pratap Simha's office. So this is the visitor pass that was recovered from one of the intruder whose name is Manoranjan. This was the pass that was recovered from him. And now we're being joined by CNN News 18's Anshul Singh, who's joining us from Jind in Haryana, and he is live with us from Neelam's house, who was also one of the protesters who was protesting outside the Parliament. Anshul, what do the family members have to say about it?
So yes, the family members have constantly been saying, we have spoken to them last night as well and this morning as well, and the family members continue to say that they had actually no idea that something like this was being planned by Neelam. In fact, Neelam came over here at this house right outside which I am standing at this point in time, just day before yesterday, to fill some forms for the exam, and that point in time the family also had no idea absolutely that something like this could happen. However, the family says that yes, Neelam along with the entire village was the part of the farmers' protest that happened on the borders of the national capital. Now, the family is in the next few minutes is expected to leave for the national capital. I'll just try and speak to her brother. भैया एक बात ये बताइए, अभी आप लोग दिल्ली जा रहे हैं, कौन-कौन लोग दिल्ली जाएंगे और किन लोगों का समर्थन आपको मिलेगा?
पहले किसानों से मिलेंगे, किसानों के जो आए थे कल आजाद जी पहलवान, उनसे मिलेंगे, देखते हैं वो कैसा बंदोबस्त करते हैं, कौन-कौन साथ में जाएगा, उन्हीं को पता है। फिलहाल मेरे घर से तो मैं ही हूँ,
क्योंकि यूएपीए लगा दिया है, काफ़ी सीरियस चार्ज लगा दिया है अब दिल्ली पुलिस ने, इसमें मुश्किलें काफ़ी बढ़ सकती हैं आगे।
देखते हैं, वो तो मुश्किल तो ये कल से देख रहे हैं हम, बढ़ी हुई है हमारे तो, क्योंकि कल से खान पान है जो है सब कुछ बंद ही है। सुबह 6 बजे से लेके आ गए थे मीडिया वाले, अगर हम गेट नहीं खोलेंगे तो ये बोलेंगे कि मीडिया वाले को भी ये जवाब नहीं दे रहे, तो हम इस मामले में चोर साबित नहीं होना चाहते।
घर में कैसा माहौल है? काफ़ी
घर में ठीक है, नहीं कोई तनाव वाली बात नहीं है, ऐसी तो कोई बात नहीं है, तनाव कोई गलत काम किया है तो उसकी सज़ा उसको ज़रूर मिलेगी, लेकिन देखते हैं उससे मिलने देंगे या नहीं देंगे, वो तो बाकी बात है, तो उसको मिलने के पता ही चलेगा कि बाद में कि उसने क्यों कदम उठाया है, किस लिए उठाया है। मैं तो सिर्फ एक ही बात कहना चाहता हूँ कि उसको भी अपना जो बात है, जो उसके विचार हैं, उनको रखने की ज़रूरत है, उनको भी उनका विचार रखने देना चाहिए।
नहीं तो ये तरीका जो चुना गया, इख्तियार किया गया पार्लियामेंट में घुसने का, काफ़ी ज़्यादा ड्रास्टिक या काफ़ी बड़ा कदम नहीं था?
हाँ, ये बड़ा कदम तो था, इसको सभी इसकी सराहनीय तो कोई नहीं कर रहा है। प्रोटेस्ट करना था, बाद में कर लेते। इसका आपको पता है कि 13 दिसंबर को पहले भी हुआ था ये घटना, तो उसको जोड़ने के लिए पूरी मीडिया ये कर रही है कि इसको इससे जोड़ें, लेकिन जब उसका लिंक ही नहीं है उसके साथ, कोई पन्नू के साथ जोड़ रहा है। मैं तो नाम ही पहली बार सुना, ये पन्नू है कौन? कल देखा है मीडिया में कि ये पन्नू है। ये बोल रहे हैं कि इसका बैंक अकाउंट चेक करो। अकाउंट चेक कर लो, आप सभी परिवार के चेक कर लो, उसका के लिए क्यों करो? सभी परिवार का चेक करो, अकाउंट देख लो हमारा क्या इनकम है, क्या सोर्सेज हैं हमारे इनकम के, तभी पता चलेगा ना।
तो अभी दिल्ली निकल रहे हैं, कितने लोग जाएंगे दिल्ली? इसका
फिलहाल यहाँ से तो मैं अकेला हूँ, उचाना जाऊँगा, पहले किसानों से मिलूँगा, उनको पूछूँगा कि कौन कौन मेरे साथ जाएगा या नहीं जाएगा, वो डिपेंड करता है उन पर, जाएंगे नहीं जाएंगे। लेकिन मेरे को तो जाना पड़ेगा, मेरी सिस्टर है, मैं उसकी सपोर्ट में खड़ा हूँ और खड़ा रहूँगा, हमेशा खड़ा रहूँगा, चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए।
So as you heard there, that the family also had no idea that something like this was in the plans, and also the family members will now be leaving from here, their village, and they will be going to the national capital and will try to meet their sister Neelam. Now there are serious charges that have been pressed against her.
Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5, and there's some breaking news that's now coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where the crackdown on terror continues. We're now learning that 3 members of the TRF, which is the Resistant Front people, have now been arrested in Jammu and Kashmir. Their association with the Jaish-e-Mohammed has also not been ruled out and is under investigation. Remember, the crackdown on terror elements, on terror financing is only escalating in the valley, and this is a part of that ongoing investigation, ongoing crackdown by security agencies. Ishan, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Ishan, what more can you tell us?
Yes, Srinagar police in a major breakthrough has held the 3 TRF associates which are called overground workers. Now their involvement into militancy crimes are being checked, that wherever they have been involved, their interrogation is going on. We're told that 2 pistols and other arms and ammunition have been recovered from them. Remember, there was an incident of attack on a J&K police personnel in Bemna area, from where they have been arrested, in which one policeman had received multiple bullet injuries and he was shifted to Army's hospital. Now he is there, he is being checked. But yes, sources are indicating and told CNN News 18 that they could be also linked to the Jaish, because we have seen in the past that there is a lot of these outfits linking to each other and helping each other in terms of the operation, and then also providing inputs to each other. So yes, forces are trying to widen its crackdown and also ensure that if there are more who are part of this modus operandi, they are able to crack them down and see that how they used to operate and what all targets they had. We haven't heard from the police yet officially, but yes, sources have indicated that they have been booked by the police. There's an FIR registered in Bemna police station. One by a guy is from the downtown area of Srinagar. As we speak, the investigation is on and police is trying to get more leads and clues in this case.
Right, Ishan, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that. The crackdown, the multi-agency crackdown against terror operatives, against terror financing in Jammu and Kashmir is only gathering pace, and it will continue until their back is completely broken. That's the message India has been sending to all Pakistani proxies. With that, it's a wrap from my side here on this edition of Nation at 5. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. A high-level probe is currently underway to investigate all details about Parliament security breach yesterday. Ministry of Home Affairs has set up an inquiry panel on request of the Lok Sabha Secretariat, which would be headed by DG